Just want to let that set in for a little bit right there.
Jesus.
Welcome to
Really?
episode 182 of Folks Talking Sports. I am KG Chris Gardner of the Houston Round Ball Review, and with me right now is my man from the Adamax Corner, Mr. Adolphus A.D. Moore. Mr. Moore, before I ask you how you're doing, I'm going to say real quickly, hold your ears, sir. Hold your ears. Cover your ears. Cover your ears.
Okay, go ahead, man. I'm going to get it out.
Detroit basketball. Okay. Mr. Moore, how you doing, sir?
I'm excellent, Mr. Gardner. I'm glad you got that. Oh, you got that out your system? I mean, I should know better. I mean, I asked this question a long time ago. How in the world did you get hooked up to being to pulling for Detroit? But you know what? That's you know what? That's the fan in, because we all got the fan, and even though we all consider ourselves journalists and professional journalists thereabout, but we all got our predilections in life. So you entirely yours.
Oh, well, in case I haven't told you the story, 86, I did not like the Boston Celtics after they eliminated the Rockets. So I looked around and saw a team who could compete with the Celtics. And a team that was on the rise was the Detroit Pistons. They became the bad boys. I've been a fan ever since.
Jesus. But you Joe Dunamas, Isaiah Thomas, and the rest, huh? Lambeer,
Yes,
and
sir. Yes,
oh, okay,
sir.
all right,
Been a fan since 86. Seen
okay.
3 championships, seen 28 straight losses, seen 14 wins, and now for the first time since 2008, see a first round playoff series victory. So yes, I'm enjoying it. But I did say on last week's Folks Talking Sports, episode 181, Detroit in 7. So I got that one right.
Well, I tell you what, you know what, which was a little surprise. I was surprised to see the Celtics go down last night.
Oh,
Was
I
it
did
last
too.
night?
I mean, heck, I picked Boston to get to the finals out of the East, not the Pistons. See, AD, I am objective. See,
No, man, a lot of folks picked the Celtics to go to, but hey, I think I think he saw a player to rush back too quick and might have risked his whole career, man, and which he shouldn't, And I think they threw the chemistry off. I think if whatchamacallit would have stayed out, um, I you know I,
yeah,
because
I agree. I didn't think Jason Tatum should have came back this season, but he
yeah.
did. He gave it his best, and then his body said, "No, we're not ready yet."
Yeah, and the thing about it threw the equilibrium of that team off. And to me, I think more than anything else, the flow, the chemistry, and everybody sort of had to take a step back instead of taking a step up. They took a step back as Tatum came in, and realistically, I think we saw which game was that? I think one of the games he had just came back. First game he came back, and no, we expected him. Went up for a rebound, he came down, and he came down on his good leg, and so it was noticeable. But he tried to push through it, and I think it just my whole deal was for you to go come back this far and then to go back and have a major setback, and that means that push you back another year instead of just, hey, let it stay out and let Brown let the team run through where it's been running through all year. And I just personally thought that just disrupted the whole chemistry.
And I think some Celtics fans agree, but we'll see how it all plays out. Miss Wanda Polk, thank you. Good evening to you as well. Mr. Big Texaco, good evening to you also. But I was wrong. After the Rockets won Game 5, I thought the Rockets would win Game 6 and honestly lose Game 7. But they lost by 20 in Game 6. So as everyone is watching us on Facebook, YouTube, both of our channels, Houston Round Bar Review and on the Adamax Corner,
Right.
as well as on Twitch, what are your thoughts on the Rockets in Game 6, how they played, how they looked, the Rockets going forward? Well, let me say this real quickly. I said it. Willie Gibson is at the Cavs-Toronto game. That's why he's not here. A.J. Jones is busy producing. Laquita Thompson, something came up within the last hour, so she could not join us this evening. And hopefully Kenitra will join us. If not, it'll just be AD and myself and you guys, our viewers, on episode 182 of Folks Talking Sports. But Mr. Moore, your thoughts on the Rockets in Game 6 losing by 20?
I was a little bit shocked. I thought it might have went to Game 7 after they went back out to L.A. and actually, as they say, they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, or vice versa. I did not. I was really a little chagrined and taken back at the way, because when I got into the game late, and when I got there, I kept looking at the score. I kept thinking, no, this, I really changed. I cut my TV off and cut it back on. I thought I had a wrong channel because the Lakers were so far out ahead. I kept thinking maybe that Rocket team did not get on the plane from Los Angeles, and I just really a little bit surprised. I know Kevin Durant did not play. I know Kevin Durant was hurt. Whatever the case, I'm not pinning this on Kevin Durant. I thought that the Rockets, some shape, form, or fashion would get home, boat it back one more time, and just say, okay, let's go back to L.A., let's go back to Inglewood, and let's face it, Chris, and I know, anytime you get to a Game 7, whether it's an NBA or hockey or whatever the case, anything can happen. So I felt like, they'll come home and they'll be competitive. That game was over with after the first quarter.
Yeah. And, I thought it'd be competitive. It wasn't. The Rockets missed shots again. That's been a bugaboo. The Game 3 collapse. It's tough to get that back. You give that game. Well, you had that victory.
Yeah.
You gave it away.
Yeah.
And Game 6, as Mr. Big Texco says, it didn't show up. No leader. Reed Shepherd didn't shoot well. The guys didn't shoot well as a team. It's disappointing. It's, a 20-point loss is not how you want your season to end, especially at home.
Not at home.
I'm keeping track of the Toronto Cavs game. It's 29-24. Raptors over at Cleveland early in the second quarter. I want to get a quick look at how Mr. Harden's doing in Game 7. He is 1 for 2 from the floor. So he's got 5 points. So far he hasn't no-showed. So it's early in Game 7, so he still has time to do that. But kudos to Joel Embiid, finally having a good Game 7. He did help the Philly beat Boston. And now Philly Knicks starts on Monday. That should be a physical series. We'll see how long Joel's body can hold up. But just
what are your predictions on that? What are your predictions on that series? Because I'm of the opinion that if they get rough with the Knicks will fold.
Well, I am, obviously, we are not Stephen A. Smith, and we're not Knicks fans. Stephen A. Smith, he flip-flops on the Knicks. Knicks are done. The Knicks are toast. Now they're going to the finals because of what they did to the Hawks in Game 6 of that record victory. If Joel Embiid can stay healthy, which that's a big if, he got his knee ran into a lot in the fourth quarter. We'll see how long his knees hold up, his conditioning. It'd be kind of a good matchup with him and Karl Anthony Towns. I'm going to pick the Knicks to win, but I think it's going to go 7.
You know what? Here's the deal. You picked the matchup between Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns. That's not, to me, it's going to be one in the backcourt. Because I think those two guys are going to cancel each other out.
They could.
I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to spend too much time out on the perimeter. And Joel Embiid, if they win,
but he might have to though, AD, because if he can't post up Joel Embiid, he does have, I guess, a kind of quickness advantage to beat Joel off the dribble a little bit. But Philly's guards, VJ Edgecombe and Maxey, they're playing well. And VJ finally made threes on the road in the first round. He didn't do that as well. It should be a fun series. It should be competitive. I hope it's competitive because I want all the second round series to be competitive. First things first. I'm not sure about that in the West. OKC and the Lakers, if Luka doesn't play, I don't see that going past 5. San Antonio, Minnesota, if Ant-Man doesn't come back at some point, he's upgraded to questionable. Spurs might win that in 5. But I just like playoff basketball. I hope all of them go 7. That's unlikely, but I hope they all go 7. But I think we're looking at a Spurs, OKC matchup in the West,
West, yeah.
and then in the East, as I mean, I didn't think they'd do it. I think they get past the final, the conference finals, but Detroit has home court through the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
So they win the home games, they go into the NBA Finals, which I did not think would happen this second year under JB. But time will tell how it all plays out. This is now gravy for the Stones, and well, on to the next. And I think they can beat Cleveland. I think they can beat Toronto.
Yeah, I'm San Antonio and OKC, and I think overseas San Antonio. Let me see. OKC will have a home court advantage if it's those two, correct?
Correct. OKC has home court over everybody.
Everybody, okay.
And the Spurs do it over everybody except OKC.
Except OKC, and if the Spurs can, I'm gonna go out on a long limb on a short tree. I know that's backwards. That's an oxymoron. I think the Spurs can. I think the Spurs can still take them, and I think the Spurs can take them in 6. I mean, it's some it's something about the Spurs, and it's something about that team that just to me, in my opinion, they fun to watch. They really are a fun team to watch. And Wembanyama, I think but it's not just Wembanyama. I know he's the big cause of their success. But they have a good supporting cast, and I wouldn't even call them supporting cast. I think they got some players that can play, and they building a good. I think they built a good nucleus around Wembanyama, and so kudos to them.
I mean, De'Aaron Fox, winner of the Guy B. Lewis Award, just putting it out there. But him, Stephon Castle, Carter Bryant, rookie from Arizona. I mean, they got a very, 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 very good young core. And the question, Justin, I think you kind of know the answer to this question now. Trying to figure out why the Spurs rebuild didn't take as long as the Rockets. Spurs already in the mix again. Well, one huge difference is Wemby.
That's the big difference.
Wemby be on the Rockets would be further along than the Spurs, but Wemby on the Spurs rather than the Rockets. And I think Justin said this. A few other Rocket fans believe this. The Rockets trading for Kevin Durant shortened their window to win a championship. The Spurs window was longer to win a championship than the Rockets as things currently stand. But, we'll see how it all plays out. I'm going to shift gears. Still talk about the Rockets. Rocket fans, Justin, Mr. Big Texaco, anybody else watching us on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, what do you want the Rockets to do this offseason? It seems like, reading an article from my brother Kelly Iko in Yahoo Sports, that Rafael Stone and Ime Udoka are both coming back. I think that's a mistake. One of them should be gone.
Which one?
And I say him Rafael. Rafael should be gone. His personnel choices, no. His failure to make a move before the deadline, the buyout market, whatever, was a mistake, was a fail. Injuries, bringing back Fred and Steven Adams next year healthy. No, it wasn't a given. Mr. Big Tex, I disagree. Rafael he's the reason why the Rockets are where they are. Rafael should be gone. And if Tillman and his sons don't see that, then they'll be losing the first round next year.
It's not so much Tillman; it's the Suns. Because from my understanding, it's the Suns that's really calling the shots right now. I mean, Tillman. I think Tillman gets the last word, but I think personally, I think it depends on.
It's Patrick and Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones who also have the say in the yet to be named WNBA franchise in Houston. Since they still haven't settled that with Travis Scott and TSTM. So, but should the Rockets, is it enough, Rocket fans, for internal improvement? That's it. Internal improvement to run it back next season.
With this same cast?
Yes, yep. Mm-hmm. With Fred
No,
VanVleet healthy, Steven
no.
Adams healthy, Kevin Durant healthy, is internal improvement with those guys healthy enough?
KD is a year older, man. Come on. And the thing about it, with the wear and tear on his body is really starting to show more so. It's not enough. I really think, be quite candid, if they can, if KD can be make part of a package and go bring something else in, do it. No, that's gonna take some imagination. That's gonna take some however whatever the Rockets cap is and how they because I know in the NBA you got to match salaries and all this other stuff. I mean, I think what Kevin he's got more than 1 year's he had a more than 1 year deal coming
He
in,
signed a
correct?
2-year contract extension earlier.
Okay, so he's under contract. I just think
KD's not going anywhere. AD.
yeah,
Kevin Durant's
well,
not going to be
okay.
traded.
Why does he
Şengün
have
might
a
be traded.
okay?
But yeah, Kevin Durant's not going to be traded. But I'm going to toss out the names, folks. Toss out the names where, yes, Jay Minded, that is quite possible. Regarding the sources of about both of them being back. Yes. But Kawhi Leonard, ESPN insiders tossed him out there as a guy the Rockets should consider. I'm still right now in the Giannis camp that the Rockets will do that. Name tossed out, I think today or the last few days, Donovan Mitchell. If Cleveland implodes and loses today, I think they're down 10 right now. Donovan Mitchell might be somebody to look at as well. So different names out there. Do you want any of them, or do you want
If I
Mr.
can,
Big Tesco says he does not want anyone who doesn't play a full season. Well,
if I,
Kawhi played a lot of games last year, this past season. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you the Kawhi Leonard I would like what I know, and this is just pure speculation on my part. I would like that Kawhi Leonard that went to Toronto and played.
Well,
That
of
would be the
course.
no. I mean because
But he's
Kawhi,
older too. See, AD, he's older just like he's a year
yeah,
older, like Kevin Durant will be a year older.
yeah, and neither one of them have been well. Kawhi done probably been on the floor. Well, I had to go back and look at this. I think Kawhi probably played closer to a max season as we're gonna get out of him.
Yeah, this
Okay.
past season, which,
Yeah,
that what is that saying?
I'm not saying a whole lot. I mean,
But if you have Kawhi and Kevin Durant, that's an upgrade, right?
no, you just got two older players. You
Yeah.
just got two older players. You got two older players that you really saying we gonna win now on, and
Right.
I'm at
That's what the move would be. We're gonna win now. Yes.
win now. And here's the question: which one of them? Are you saying both of those guys can give you 65 or 70 game regular season games, and then be prepared to go into the playoffs? Is that what you're saying?
You'd
If
have
that's
to. I mean,
what
that'd be the reason for the trade. Kawhi played 65 games this past season. Here's a trade from ESPN.com insiders. Rockets get Kawhi Leonard and Brook Lopez. The Clippers get Şengün, Reed Shepherd, and Steven Adams.
so, who's your shooters? Older KD that may or
Well,
may not be on the floor. I mean,
Kawhi is a good three-point shooter. He was one of the league leaders this past season.
yeah, okay.
I mean, like I said, a deal like that would really cement they're going for it. Okay, they're going for the championship. They're going for it. The window would have it's
That
already
is the win.
closing,
Yeah, no,
but it's going to like a year or two instead of it
that
could have been 5.
that is the window right there. I mean, if that is my best option, Chris, if that is my best option, okay, I'll spin the roulette wheel on it. I'll go ahead
Justin,
and
I'm gonna say this to Justin. Justin, you don't believe Quinn Grimes is an upgrade to the Rockets bench? Because
apparently not.
let me put this out here. This is what Justin says. This is what you said last Sunday, AD, about Chris Paul. Mr. Big Texco then says give him Quinn Grimes and Jamal Shed. Both of them upgrade two different needs. Jamal is a point guard. Rockets do not have a point guard, a legit point guard. And Quentin Grimes can rebound, defend, and score off the bench. Justin, I'm not sure why you're hating on Quentin Grimes. I mean, he's better than what the Rockets have off the bench. He's better than Dorian Finney-Smith. you know, especially this past season's version of Dorian Finney-Smith. Draymond says he thought the purpose of the rebuild was to get the league's next superstars, not chase aging superstars who's prime. Well,
no, he's got a point though.
He does have a point. But who's in charge of who need decisions? If it's Patrick and Michael Tillman, Fertitta, excuse me.
Well, you know what?
But I think everybody, me, AD, folks watching us on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook, if the Western Conference Finals is a matchup of OKC and the Spurs, then the Rockets front office is going to have to decide how close are we to those two teams. Because if they convince themselves that a healthy Fred, a healthy Steven Adams, a healthy Kevin Durant, plus internal improvement is enough, then they'll stand pat. If they look at it and say, yeah, we're not close to this at all, we need to make a move. We're light years away from these two young teams. That's what they're going to have to decide.
Okay, all right, Chris. All right, let's go back and the team that you just talked about in the symbol. Let's start looking at, all right, if we get into a tight situation, we know what KD's going to do, what he can bring to the floor. Where's the rest of your shot selection coming from? I mean, who is the guy that you can come off the bench and give you that offense they need to like the bad boys used to have, the coming off the bench?
Ideally, here's another question. I'm gonna answer your question with this question. Assuming Fred VanVleet is healthy, Fred start and have Reed Shepard come off the bench and be your hope of three-point shooting and some offense off the bench. Is that an answer? Is that a solution to it?
No.
I know Jayshawn Tate should not be on his team next year. He should have been on the team this year. All the rocks and arrows tossed at Jabari and Reed in Game 3. Jayshawn Tate fouled a three-point shooter in the closing seconds. He shouldn't be on his team. Period. He should be gone. You can quibble about Dorian Finney-Smith. They need to upgrade those spots. They need to upgrade over Aaron Holiday. Aaron Holiday did what he could, but he needs to upgrade over his spot too.
Basically, you talking about you really, you know what? Tear the team down and just go ahead and go ahead and tank it and figure out who's the next. Go back and figure out what's the next young player over in Europe, and because right now or you get ready to grab one of the boozy kids coming.
No. They're not going to tear it down. No, not doing that, AD. That's not happening. Yeah. They're not going to do that.
Okay, so then we talking about a 50 to a 55-56 win season. Okay, good. And you wind up fourth or fifth in the mix, give or take. And will the Rockets fans, is that progress for them to make it to the second round? You calling that progress?
Well, it'd be past the first round. That'd be a start. They still wouldn't be on the level of OKC and the Spurs.
You know what? It's maybe because I still got Rocket Championship T-shirts from the Akeem days still hanging up in my closet. So I don't. And I'm probably still one of the few that can still remember way back then. Because I just want to see a competitive five. I want to see some competitive basketball. Period. And not faulting, and not you get everybody hopes up, and then all of a sudden you come home and everybody got their hopes up, and y'all just fall like a cheap suit.
But the offense is the problem. The Rockets' defense was solid. The Rockets, and to a man, They all said in post-game email as well after Game 6 that the Lakers switching defense caused them problems. Well, that indicates you don't have enough guys who can create their own shot, which everybody already knew.
Yeah.
You don't have enough guys who can make their own shot or make open shots, which everybody knew. So they have to solve those two problems. And I don't believe internal improvement. Jabari Smith believes the Rockets already have what they have in-house to have what they need in-house. Yes, I think this is a done deal. Amin Thompson will get the max because he does a lot of everything. He's not yet a great shooter. He's a better three-point shooter than his brother. He's a better offensive threat than his brother. Might not be a better defensive player than his brother, but he's better offensively than his brother all around. But the Rockets will give Amin the max.
Mr. Big Texas.
He says hell no, but that's going to happen. Just like Detroit Pistons fans will say hell no to Jalen Duren getting the max. He won't get the max. This first round performance, he won't get the max. He's going to ask for it. He's not going to get it. He shouldn't get it. But Amin's going to get the max. Unless he and his people go and say, okay, well, I'll take the max, but less years. Instead of 5 years for whatever it is, give me 3 years at the max. Y'all don't want to give me that kind of money. I'm going to take a shorter deal.
Mr. Big Tex just went slapped at you, man.
But again,
he's not happy. He's not happy with you, man.
He made 3-point shots in the series, corner 3-point shots. He is still a better player than most of the Rockets right now.
Yeah, but
he's getting better.
So what you're saying is his stock is rising, potentially to rise if continue to work on his game and then refine his stock could be a plus moving into next couple of years, whereas the rest of these guys' stock is like they've reached a phoenix and they basically are done. So they starting to go down except for Reed Shepherd and I'm still trying to understand. I think the kid is supposed to be a sniper. He's supposed to be considered a sniper. Are we finished with him and saying this kid can't do it?
No. He's better suited, I think, coming off the bench, being a scoring option off the bench, a floor spacer off the bench. He is not a point guard. He can get you some assists here and there, but he is not somebody who can run the offense. But Tari Eason, Rockets, Amin's getting the max. Tari Eason's not going to get the max. He's going to ask for it. They're going to give him 4 years or 5 years, $120 million, whatever. He's going to get their money. Rockets have to decide what they're going to do, who they're going to pay. But Amin is going to get the max. And it ain't my money. He's going to ask for it, and he's going to get it.
I like the way you spending Tillman's money, though. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, he's got it to spend. And he was at Game 6. He was there based on what Eco wrote, and he was disappointed and disheartened how they lost. Well, your son put this team together, But you don't think he should. It's not a question of what we think. He's going to ask for it. He and his reps are going to ask for it, and most likely the Rockets are going to give it to him. Because unless they upgrade the roster at other spots, Amin and his people are going to be, all right, I'll be gone in 3 years. I'm not going to stay here. Y'all don't believe I'm worth the max? Then I'll buy my time somewhere else in 3 or 4 years. Certain players, you have to do this. And right. Tari said it's a business. Amin, people going to say it's a business too. And they're going to point to the numbers and what Amin did. And they're going to say, yeah, this is a business. We believe he is worth the max. Now, whether the Rockets give it to him, that's something else. I think they're going to give it to him. You can say I think they're going to blink. Fine, whatever. Kevin Durant did not take the full max because he's old. Fred is probably going to take. I'll put it like this. Fred VanVleet will probably take less money for more years on his contract. And if he does take less money, a man's going to say, okay, well, Fred took less money, so I can get the max. Give me the max. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Whether the Rockets do it or not, the Rockets put themselves in this position. Rafael was the one who signed Dorian Finney-Smith to put them captain at the first apron. Rafael did that. Ime brought back Jay Sean Tate. I think everybody who knows me, folks who participate in the Let's Talk Houston Rockets shows, did not want Jay Sean Tate back. Locker room guy. They had enough veteran guys in the locker room now to it ain't Jay Sean Tate. That was a mistake. And they bit him in game 3. They have decisions to make. They need to upgrade the bench, that's for sure. So how is he going to do that? You got to do something to upgrade the bench. And Justin wants to upgrade the coaching staff. So, I mean, that's how he feels about it. When you got Durant, that meant the rebuild was over. And the window shrunk. The window is closed. It's closing. But their young core some of it is still intact. Amen Thompson. Now you can decide what you want to do with Jabari Smith and Tari Eason and Reed Shepherd. But Amen Thompson and Alperen Sengun. But the Rockets personnel front office believes in Amen Thompson more than those other 4 guys. And I think they'll show it by giving him the max.
okay.
And once they give him the max, then we can say whatever. Whether he deserves it because they offered it to him. Simple. If they offered it to him, he's worth it.
Well,
Because none of us, ADU, me, anybody else, is going to tell an owner, any owner, we believe in you, young man, young woman. We believe in you so much, we're going to offer you maximum salary. We're going to give you the highest offer on the market. We don't want you going anywhere. Oh, no, I can't take that. No, thank you. I'm not worth that. No. The hell you say? Where do I sign? I am still hoping for that before I die. Someone says, Chris, I believe in you.
Yeah.
Here,
Wait a
blank
minute.
check.
I'll be snatching the pen out of his hand, signing myself. I signed for him. I'll forge his name. Are you kidding me? Really, I'll forge his name myself. I mean, that's the name of the game. And of course, the name of the game is to win. We all understand that. That goes without saying. But also the name of the game is to be able to put a team together, a young team with the right parts together. And I don't think the right parts are there.
And I agree. And let me say this. There are not a lot of teams that can put 5 good to great 3-point shooters on the floor at the same time who also play good to great defense.
True.
Okay? So if the Rockets are 4 of those 5 and a man is the one that doesn't shoot 3-pointers good to great, but he plays elite defense, he still has a role, a great role. You don't have to shoot 3-pointers. That's what the opponent wants you to do. Okay? If a man became PJ Tucker from the corner 3, that'd be a great thing for the Rockets. If Asar did that for Detroit, it'd be a great thing for the Pistons. But in terms of if either one of them would just move without the ball and get to the open spots, to get to the paint, facilitate when KD was double teamed, flash to the paint, catch the ball, drive and finish, or kick it out to a 3-point shooter in either corner. They don't have to shoot threes. You're not going to have 5 guys shoot threes on the floor.
Chris, it's fun. You bringing up a point or issue, and I'm trying to remember. I read this, I think, a couple of days ago, talking about how I'm trying to remember, but the gist of the article was how the NBA basketball has sort of ruined his own self because everybody want to jack up threes. I mean, either you don't even go to the paint anymore. Very seldom. When we start seeing some, I mean, in the mid range game, the thing what gets me where's the completeness of the basketball game? I guess yeah, maybe I'm sounding old and
But
because
that's why there are specialists in sports. That's why you have a sniper off the bench. That's why you have elite defenders. That's why you have elite rebounders. That's why superstars are superstars, and you have role players.
right.
That's the difference. Okay, and just because he's not an elite 3-point shooter, he's not worth the max. He will be at the Rockets say he is. Guys, y'all have all made it perfectly clear, abundantly clear. You do not believe a man is worth the max. What I'm saying is, do not be shocked when he's offered the max. All right? And I don't know how long it took Jason Kidd to make himself into a legit 3-point shooter. But he did it. It can be done. It has been done. Jason Kidd, remember everybody? He used to be Asen Kidd because he had no J.
No jumper.
That's what he used to be called, Asen. But he made himself a legitimate 3-point shooter. Will a man do it? He's got time to do it. That'll be part of the internal improvement. Same thing with his handle. Agreed. But I hope he's not a complete player and he continues to get better, because if he doesn't get better, then what are we doing here? You want your younger players to get better. That's the whole point of this, is improvement. Şengün and Green, no. They took shorter deals, though. Jalen took shorter deals. And that is what it's going to amend. His people and the Rockets are going to have to negotiate, haggle. But amend, his people are going to first things first. They're going to ask for the moon. And then it'll be up to Rafael, Tillman, Patrick, Michael, and say, we believe in you. We believe you're a great talent, but we don't think you are worth the max. So let's see if we can work out a number where you feel is fair.
Well, okay.
Okay.
In
And
the
then I'm
place,
saying, a man is going to say, okay, I'm going to take a shorter deal then.
okay, because here's the first place. Let's drop. I think we keep adding "great" into the adjective describing these players. These players are not great. They're good. I think we have a tendency to start dropping "great" on everything, and really, KD is a great player, but he's on the backside of being great. After that, that's no greatness. These are good players with potential, and waiting to see them to develop. So maybe is
That's
it another
also
women?
part of why some teams give players the max, because they believe they're going to get better. The older players get the max because of what they've done in the past. The younger ones, you're betting on their future and improvement. It ain't our money, people. The Rockets and the man and his people, they're going to negotiate. A man and his folks will ask for the max. Now, it's up to the Rockets personnel in front office to say, but I think they're going to give it to him. We can argue whether they should or not. I think they will. But 19 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and he played 44 minutes per game in this first round series. That's Amen Thompson. Mm-hmm. I don't know what. He's going to ask for the max? Oh, yeah, he is. I'm sure he is going to ask for the max.
Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's going to ask for his agent.
Yeah. His agent.
His agent's going. I guarantee.
That's the job of his agent. Oh no.
Yes.
They're going to put together slides and presentation and do all this and say where he ranks in terms of, steals and deflections and points and impact on winning and all these different things and make a case and say this is why he's worth the max. Then it'll be up to for Tita to say, this is why he's not worth the max. And then we'll see where they'll meet. And I think they're going to lean more toward the max. That's what I think. Time will tell. Mr. Moore,
Yes, sir.
different discussion. Didn't happen this way that you thought, at least not yet. Big 12 Conference and private capital with Redbird Capital and Weatherford Capital will receive an infusion of $12.5 million from as part of this partnership
Correct.
with 33, excuse me,
30,
$30 million line of
30
credit
million for each.
offered to each of the member schools.
Correct.
Utah University, the Utes, have already agreed to, months ago, agreed to their own, really a private equity deal arrangement where another entity is created for the equity part with Otro Capital. Is this just the beginning of more dominoes falling?
No, without a doubt. Let me take you back a couple of years ago. What was it? The when we went to
The American
yeah,
Football
yeah,
Media Day.
yeah, football media day, and and I kept in one of my questions that, and I was talking. And this is when the Saudis, jumped in with love with Live and all the rest, and I kept asking then. I said because we knew what the Saudis had an objective, but this is all being dollars and cents, and folks have no conscience, and I said then. And that's what 4 years ago, Chris. I think when I was raising that issue with American Media Conference about private
You
equity,
talked to Commissioner Oresco.
yeah, about that. And so now here we are. What 5 years now? 5 years hence, and folks are going to private equity firms. And Chris, I'm gonna be quite candid with you. 12 and a half million dollars for a private equity company is they take that from the petty cash fund. Okay. They take that from the petty cash fund. And as far as that 30 million line of credit for those teams, let me just say this. Those teams in the Big 12, read the fine print. Be careful before you take that $30 million line of credit. Because here's let's go back and take a let's look at all the teams and now let's park Texas Tech to the side because Texas Tech created their own private equity from their own alumni base. Okay, because that football team was the best team money could buy in the Big 12, and you looked at the most recent NFL draft and seen those players, coming off the board real quick, particularly the first day and the second day. So my question and the fact that all of the athletic director and the presidents, okay, yeah, we take the 12 and a half, which to me 12 million doesn't mean anything to a private equity company. So my question it comes back to them. $30 million line of credit. So what are you supposed to do with that $30 million line of credit? I don't think these some of these respective athletic departments gleam are sharp enough to be able to come and take that 30 million and make it work for
Well,
them.
I don't believe very many Big 12 member schools are going to take it, participate in it. Might be two to four schools. I think four is probably the max. I don't think it'll be six, like some folks reported. I know UCF has already said no publicly; they're not going to take it. It's a little under 10% that you have to pay back annual, part of the
Yeah.
5-year deal for it. But I put it out. I got one answer so far that have not made a decision yet. I don't think they're going to do it either. But every Big 12 school does have a year, 12 months to decide if they're going to take the $30 million line of credit. I was hoping Kenichi could shed some light on from the Kansas Jayhawk perspective, because when we were texting about it, she did mention that Kansas might do it as part of their entertainment district building construction that they're doing to help pay for that.
With everything, okay, yeah.
So, if there are member schools who are trying to pay for facility upgrades or build new facilities, maybe that'd be reasons for them to accept line of credit. But if they're not in that situation, we'll see. UH has to do a better job of reaching out to the corporations in Houston. But I go back to it as always. They also need to do a better job convincing their fans to buy season tickets for football games, because that is a baseline of money you can count on year in year out. If you know you got 25,000 plus season ticket sales sold every year, you know how much you got X millions of dollars every year coming from your season ticket sales in football. But when it's 10 to 15,000 or less, that's a problem. That's when you have to do other things to make money. But we shall see who does it. I mean, the Big Ten announced a $400 million increase in revenue from 2024 to 2025. The member schools were going to split $1.37 billion. So the Big Ten, their first year of the media rights deal kicked in. They're now a billionaire conference in media rights distribution. Big 12 is far from that. And you're seeing the money, you could see it in terms of the Big Ten in football championships. You can see it in Big Ten men's basketball. You can see it in Big Ten women's basketball. That money, you might be seeing the money being invested in the programs in Big Ten schools already starting to bear fruit in terms of championships in football and men's and women's basketball. And that money that they are sharing among the member schools is going to continue to be more and more than what the Big 12 member schools earn.
Well,
so how are they going to close the gap and narrow that revenue disparity?
Not even the Big 12. I mean, come on. It's really, we only really talking about two power power conferences now, Chris. Big Ten,
Big Ten and the SEC, correct?
Yeah, I mean, everybody else is the small sisters from the other little small houses, and it's, I mean, it's just the truth. And I guess what they need to do, the ACC and whatever's left of the Pac whatever, it used to be Pac whatever. What is it? Pac 2 now? Pac 1 or Pac anything?
No, it's the Pac. It's not the Pac 12. It'll be new Pac 12 starting July 1st.
Right, but then okay,
but they're not a power conference anymore.
No, they're not. I mean, be quite candid with the American Conference, probably is on the same level with them now.
Yes.
I mean, that's not knocking no shade on the American Conference. That's just a fact of the matter, and looking at it and starting comparing them. And when you think about all the other deals that particularly when you look at winning, all right, because think about it, IU has their own personal private equity in Mark Cuban.
Correct.
I mean, Oregon has their own private equity in Phil Knight, Nike. and so when you turn around and look at it, and wait a minute, all those schools have to be in the Big Ten.
Correct.
So I don't. I'm waiting. I want to see how what's stanking them. I want to see what their response is going to be to the Big Ten, because everybody they was around here been chest thumping about particularly the football championship. They hadn't sniffed a championship in going on 4 years now, 3 years, 4 years.
We got Indiana, Michigan, Ohio State, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And the SEC's closest champion are the Georgia Bulldogs, with a distant second from Alabama. And then you got in Tennessee, you got an uprising out of Tennessee. You got an uprising, really, think about it. Well, I'm trying to think. Yeah, okay, you got a little out of Tennessee. Maybe, not forget Auburn. I'll start to say Auburn, but
okay, that's too much football talk for me. Too much college football talk. Forget all that. NCAA tournament expanding to 76 teams. AD going from 68 to 76. Are you in favor of it? Or
no,
not?
I am not. I read that article, I'm sitting there, I read through the whole article. I read through the pros and cons of it, and I'm one of the cons. I'm going, well, hell, why don't you just go ahead and make it 138? Just put everybody in there. Why you ain't play the tournament? Just go start the tournament and just go ahead and just do elimination now. I mean, Chris, I agree with moving from 32. I agree 32 was not enough. And I don't have a problem going to 68, 64, 68. But now, so it's going to be 76, and then next thing on it's going to be 84. Then next thing is going to be 96. Why don't you just go ahead and make them all 138 and just start everybody in.
Well, no, AD, everybody in is 321. So
Well,
that's all Division One. So
well,
we
no,
won't ever get to that point. But 76 was how long? The NCAA stayed at 76 teams. It took a while to go from 64 to 68, and now 68 to 76. I hate it. I don't know any colleague who is in favor of it. They're squeezing out the lower tier programs. Hell, the mid major programs are getting squeezed out for these middle ass teams from the Power Four conferences to be in the tournament. I think it stinks. I know it's a money grab. I understand that. I still think it stinks. Doesn't mean I like it. And I'll say it if there's a point in the future, if the Cougs are 16 and 15 and 6 and 12 in the Big 12, they shouldn't be in tournament. I don't care if they were 6 and 12 in the Big 12. They didn't win enough games to get to tournament. And I don't want to hear all the, well, we're playing the tough conference. Win more games. This is not for participation. Your job is to win. Your job is to schedule tough teams and beat them. That's what it is. It's not to run from teams you're afraid to play. It's not to run from teams you're afraid who might beat you. It's to schedule teams, tough teams, get better, win your games, win enough games to get to the tournament, and then try to win 6 in a row. That's what it is all about. It's in men's and women's hoops.
I think what Kelvin Sampson has done with this program in the last several, his formula is I concur. I don't disagree at all. I think Kelvin has the right formula, and like you said, you what 16 and 15. Oh, I think we need to go to the tournament. Wait a minute. They still have the invitational tournament
the NIT, which will be for that'll end up being just for the G5 schools, the non-Power 4 program. That's what they're turning that into.
Oh, okay.
Because the majority of the teams now who make the tournament, the field of 76 will be from the Power conferences. They are squeezing out the mid majors. They're going to turn the NIT to a mid major tournament, and then we'll see who watches that. It stinks, and I mean I don't know what they're going to do with the 4-team event in Vegas that the Big 12 and the Big East put together for Fox Sports. And hey, I understand you're trying to get money, all that, but win games. Just because you're in a power conference does not mean you earn a spot in the NCAA tournament. In the big dance. Win games. Beat your teams on your schedule. I am still pissed off and will not forget. North Carolina got a at-large berth with one quad one win. They're 1 in 12. And because we're there in the ACC, they played tough competition conference. Well, hell, they didn't beat nobody. They won one time and got us invited to the tournament. That is trash.
Well,
but this is where we are.
Yeah.
It's not going to change. It's the same on the women's side. And women's basketball, it's getting better slowly, but there really are not 76 good women's teams.
No. Well, it's not 76.
No.
Well, Chris, come on. For gender equity purpose, it's not 76 good men's team that need in that tournament. No.
Average. No, you're right.
No.
But most likely, the men's teams all have winning records.
Well,
there might be some women's teams that get in with losing records. And that, no. But this is where we are. At some point, I think how he and his staff have begun to put together better talent on the roster, I'm feeling more comfortable in saying that the Houston Cougars women's team might be in the tournament in the next 2 years. They year two under Coach Mitchell, a huge upgrade in talent so far. Now they got to stay healthy and get better. I think they're going to win more games this year out of conference and in Big 12 play and improve. And then maybe next year, sniff the tournament. I
Did
think that's where things are headed for Coach Mitchell and the women's team. Because the
speak,
talent level he's brought in for year two has been a
speak,
very pleasant surprise.
speaking of the women's team, confirm from this to me. Didn't the young lady, is it Iowa State, going to South Carolina? Didn't she go to the poll and isn't she going over her last year under Don Staley? Did I
No,
miss
Audie Crooks transferred to Oklahoma State.
what
She
I
went from
thought?
Iowa
Okay,
State to Oklahoma State. There's a player from Texas who transferred to South Carolina, but not from
okay.
Big 12.
Okay.
No,
I don't know. For some reason, I read that she might be heading to South Carolina. I mean,
no. Audie Crooks is at Oklahoma State,
okay.
and the reported deal was for $1.4 million. I don't think it was that high, but it was a nice bit of money for her to sign with the Oklahoma State Cowgirls. So kudos to her. In the third quarter, it just started in Game 7 of Cleveland and Toronto. The Cavs are now up 2. They were down 49-39, I think, something like that. It was tied at halftime, and the Cavs are on an 8-0 run the last 2 minutes, going back into the end of the second quarter, and they're now up by 2 points. Now they're up. They're now up 5, 54-49. So Toronto's offense has hit a lull. As we close it out here, Toronto is without one of their key players, Brandon Ingram, but Houston's own Jamal Shed. Jamal's taking 11 shots. I don't know if I like that. If I'm a Raptors fan, he's 5 for 11 from the floor, 2 for 5 from three, 2 for 3 from a free throw line, 14 points, 2 assists, 0 turnovers. But Cleveland now leads Toronto 54-49 with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. The winner of that game will face the Pistons in the Eastern Conference semifinals, with Detroit having home court advantage. And one more time, as we close out episode 182 of Folks Talking Sports,
Oh no, man!
Detroit basketball. Thank you very much to Kate Cunningham and Tobias Harris, and for Mr. Dennis Jenkins to finally have his best playoff game so far in his young career, to come from 3-1 down to defeat the Orlando Magic, led by Paulo Banchero. Orlando will probably announce soon that they'll let Jamal Mosley go as head coach, unfortunately for him. But anyhow, but that will do it for this edition of Folks Talking Sports. Mr. Moore, thank you very much as always for joining
Appreciate it, Chris.
the discussion. Unfortunately, Willie's at the game, so now
Willie's at the game.
he's happy now. Probably a little nervous there early in the game, so he and I will probably have some trash talk. And once Detroit wins the series, he won't have anything to say to me for a while, probably. But assuming, of course, Cleveland does hold on to beat the Raptors. But Mr. Moore, I am going to give you the big screen as soon as I find it. There we go. The floor is yours, sir.
Chris, as always, hey folks, thank y'all for for allowing us to entertain you all this afternoon. You can catch me IG threads at AdMax Corner, Twitter AD_more64, and also you'll catch me on Facebook. Some of my IG and threads will roll over to Facebook at Office More. So as always, thank you for the opportunity. Stay tuned, folks, for the AdMax Corner and all the other stuff because the Texans are getting ready to start. I've already started the OTA, and so being able to go out and see and check on the OTA practices and everything, that schedule should be. The schedule is out now. I just don't remember the exact days, but in another week or so, we should be out there, watching, getting ready to get a glimpse of the 2026 Texans with the new draft picks and the free agency, and just starting to see how this team's gonna come into shape, and can they make the AFC Championship this year? I think this is to me I think this is the year they got to break through. I just think that's pressure. They got to break through this year. I'm just saying that right now because injuries and everything, we don't know. But Chris, thank you. I appreciate it as always.
My pleasure as always, AD. You can follow Folks Talking Sports on ID and Threads at Folks Talking Sports. The Raptors are now trailing by 9, 58-49 to Cleveland. So the Cavs are on a run. The Raptors offense has gone ice cold. 9:28 left in the third quarter. Probably a Raptors timeout as they are down by 9 points. But thank you for participating to Mr. Big Texco, to Wanda and Justin, and everybody else who joined us in the conversation. Jamon as well for watching us on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook.
Yeah, and
Until
let me give a shout out to Mr. Big Tech because I appreciate him. You know, when I'm jumping on the corner, he's one of the first ones, and he brings the funk. I appreciate that. You know, even if you don't necessarily agree with him, but you know what? That's good. I mean, just have some lively discussions, and I appreciate him in doing that.
agreed, and he is one of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube members as well. So thank him for his supporting of the Houston Roundball Review, becoming a member, one of the two tiers, the All League and All World tiers. You can click on that join button below the video as you're watching here on YouTube and become a member, and you do receive info early, inside info that only I can provide based on my years of con of contacts, and we're going to get better. And it's tough out here, as our friend James, Mr. Baseball Montgomery says. It's tough out here, but we're going to push through and keep pressing forward. And to wrap it up, in conclusion, since 1994, the Houston Round Ball Review, local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.